Love is in the air. The Dragon's Reborn. Welcome back to Structure. I'm your host, Age. This is my co host, E.
What up? What
And
up?
today we're doing a review of episode 7 of The Wheel of Time.
That's right. Seven people went into the ways, but only two went into the blight. Who are they? Let's get unstructured, H.
Let's go. All right, man. This episode started, it was fire from the beginning. We
Yeah.
start with a great fight. What a fight. Let's talk about we have a female warrior pregnant, nonetheless, kicking some butt.
Oh
Some
my
really, it's
gosh.
really great fight sequence in the snow. It's like
Yo.
overcoming the
I
odds.
mean, you talk about different degrees of difficulty. She, like you said, she was pregnant. She was in the snow. She was outmanned and still managed to survive to a certain extent. What happened, H?
So we see that she fights her way through warrior after warrior. She gets stabbed and she ends up eliminating the guy, but finally she has to, give birth. She was gonna just do it herself. Luckily, somebody,
Yeah, go ahead.
helped her out, and sadly she did not make it.
She did not make it, but that was a hell of a fight scene, and it showed how much she wanted to not necessarily survive, but actually procreate. Actually, let this young being in her body, this young child in her body, survive, and that was the will to give birth, which she successfully did. Kudos to her. She was outmanned.
Outgunned, and she
Yeah.
pulled through it, and she, the baby was delivered, safely.
Yep.
And we can only presume that this baby is the Dragon Reborn. It can only be that, and based on her look, we can only
What color was
we
the
got an
hair, H?
idea
What color
of
was the
who-
hair, H?
I think it was red. I think it was red. So we gotta believe there's only one character in the show
Ailman.
that can meet those.
Ailman.
We're gonna be hitting that a little later down the line.
Exactly.
No, that was crazy though. It was a really like it started the episode. I had to double check. This is a Wheel of Time because
Yeah, I
that
was
was a
thinking the
good
same thing too.
fight.
Yeah, I was into it, and it was crazy because the way that it ended was really good. And the next scene, you only took it for surface value, and you didn't. I didn't think that much into it, which I didn't conclude everything that was about to happen until it was revealed to me at the end. So I think that this scene was really well orchestrated. Absolutely.
Yeah, very kudos to them. Great showing on the show. Then we move from that. We go straight to where the show left off, which is we see our heroes going to the ways,
Yep.
and now we see this conflict or distrust, right? So we have our heroes not trusting what Moiraine is trying to do.
Listen.
They are upset that Matt's left behind.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are fighting amongst each other. So we see that the unit is not as cohesive as we would like it to be. These are the people that are gonna go be saving the world.
Yeah, the ways may be a way to shortcut your way through the world, but it's not easy. It
You
is
made it
not
out of-
easy. There is a lot of hurdles and challenges within the ways, and it got really difficult for them, as you touched on, between what was it, the Dark Wind, and also,
Matching Shin, man.
yes,
That like at first they mentioned it, and I thought we weren't gonna see it on this episode what it is, but they gave it away right away. We know Matching Shin is it's a dark wind
Uh-huh.
that's gonna devour your soul, and it's basically it preys on the doubts that our characters are having. as
I
we
mean,
saw
it
in the
really
episode.
got into them, and it really pulled out their doubts. And they showed everybody's doubts, which I had to go back into the scene because once the other part was revealed, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Did they say that in the actual first scene when the doubts were revealed? And no, they didn't. They did a little bit of a misdirection for it ran and for a few other people.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I know we're skipping ahead a little bit. There's a few more things we want to touch on, but
Yeah.
Rand's biggest concern was with Egwene. Egwene not
Yes.
loving him. She left you once, she's gonna leave you again. Then we see that Perrin's concern was with him. You didn't love. You love somebody else more than your wife. That's why you eliminated her. And then we have Nynaeve's concern being with
That
her
she's
not
going to
being able
lose
to help her
everybody.
friends.
Yeah, she's going to lose everybody, and she won't be able to protect them because she lost her parents. So that was a big fear. She doesn't want to be alone in the world. That's a big fear for her.
You know which one's very telling? Egwene's.
Yeah.
So Egwene's being like the talented one from the beginning,
Uh-huh.
right?
Superstar.
And she's walking around thinking in the back of her mind, I guess she's the dragon because
Yeah.
her doubt was that she's a fake, that she's a fraud and that she's not the one.
Yeah.
As we know, she's
It,
gonna be very surprised when she's not the one.
exactly. The ways was very difficult. They start to they were challenged with the black wind, and also we saw that this came up later. We found out why, but we saw that one of the stones, what is it, guiding stone?
The guidance stone was defense. So yeah, when our heroes going to the ways,
Yep.
they find out that something is trying to destroy the guiding stones, and they have to figure out what is it. And then they find out the Trollocs have gotten into the ways, which I guess is not supposed to be possible, since
Yeah.
it looks. I got a theory that I'm gonna share with you guys in a little bit here, but this triggers an attack of some kind from Trollocs, and they misled us.
Yes, they did. They did. There was a little bit of a time sequence, and also it's sort of like a different camera angle that they did on this, or
I
whatever.
will reveal
Or
that
maybe
later,
they,
but,
yeah,
they made us believe that Egwene
used the one power.
used
Even
the one
she
power.
thought that she did, and that goes into her belief about herself. Her,
Yeah,
yeah, she thought that she did, but
it, we'll find out later on.
yeah,
So now this triggers Machin Shin to attack them and reveal those doubts we were just talking about. And Moraine's doubt, as we all know, is that she is gonna get all these people killed because she doesn't know exactly who the Dragon
and so
Reborn
hold on,
is out of them.
let me stop you there, H, because we're going to jump ahead, and then we're going to come back because she at one point in the show tells them, you know, you're not going to not all of you are going to survive, but basically I'm taking y'all there because this has to be done, right? But then and so she tells them you guys are going to be eliminated, right? But in the ways she's worried about them being eliminated. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. Which one is it? Are you fearlessly going into the darkness and whatever happens happens, or are you worried about them? I guess for her it is both.
Yeah, another thing that I noticed in the ways is how powerful is Nynaeve because you see that she was able to single-handedly hold back the Machin Shin, the Dark Wind,
Yeah,
and if she's that powerful, because so far she seems to be the most powerful character in the show,
absolutely.
how much more stronger is the Dragon Reborn? Just to make you think, just the scale. What is the power scale here?
That's we have nothing to base it off of other than him knocking down that door, essentially, right?
Yeah, and well, let's not get ahead. Let's not get ahead.
My bad. It's all good. But yes, well you did ask, but it
I, I yeah, I walk into
it's all good. My bad. But we don't know, and there's no indication on how to find out thus far. So
Now, with Moraine's doubt that we know that she's scared to get everybody killed, we have said in the previous episode, in the previous video, that Moraine had something to hide. There was a secret plan, and now we know
hmm
that as soon as they hit Faldara, I think it was,
yeah,
right?
Faldara.
They hit Faldara. She is orchestrating to get eliminate Matt,
Yes.
and this can blow up in her face because by orchestrating the elimination, contacting the Red Aja to handle or maybe gentle
Yeah, that's a
Matt
good point.
from the One Power.
That's a good point.
When our heroes eventually, and they will reunite at some point, they are gonna reunite with each other, and Matt will have some grounds to say, you know what, your girl tried to have me killed, so I don't trust her. That's why I don't want to be part of this group.
And how would the others feel about that? Like knowing that Moraine tried to have them killed, how would they feel? Would that create a fracture in the relationship? What do you think, H?
You know that will. So they're gonna reunite, as I mentioned before. Matt's gonna tell the crew. Moraine had the Red Aja try to eliminate me.
Yeah, exactly. So who's going to be upset about that the most? Rand is going to be upset about that the most. And then Egwene, she may be indifferent. Perrin may be indifferent. But
No, I think they all are gonna feel some kind of way because although we saw in the episode there was some conflict
yeah,
with how people felt about Matt
uh huh.
because Egwene said it and she called it. He made a choice. He stayed back, right?
That's right.
So we're gonna see that they are gonna have an issue because, okay, Matt may be dark inclined, but does he deserve? Are you judge and jury to get him gentle, get him eliminated? This is gonna break the trust that they may have in Moraine when we go further down in the show. Maybe we're gonna find this fallback in the next couple of episodes.
Exactly.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, she definitely was judge and jury. She took it into her own hands to go behind their back and try to get it done behind the scenes. And hopefully, the act is already done before they find out, so that they won't be able to connect her to the deed.
Correct. Another thing, she adjusts her plan on the fly because although she was not planning to get to Faldara to where they are now or they were,
Mm-hmm.
she brings the crew to have a dinner or a drink at this bar where there's a
Yes.
seer, so one that can see the future. She has a hey, tell me who's the dragon from there, and she can kind of see the future, but she wasn't either. She didn't know at that moment, or she wasn't 100% sure who the Dragon Reborn was, or she was just hiding it from Moraine
Yeah.
for whatever reason she may have.
Exactly. Why was I think that she was hiding it? And like, why did she not tell them? Because tell the person, we won't reveal who, because eventually she did reveal all the information to that person. So why didn't she tell Moraine? That I don't know. I can't even begin to speculate why she didn't tell Moraine about what she saw about that one person.
But she revealed it later on down in the episode. We're gonna talk about it in a little bit here. But our heroes were not the only ones who made it into Faldara. We saw a somewhat familiar character, a
Yeah.
peddler. I can't forgetting his name.
His name is Fain, Padan Fain. Padan
Padan
Fain.
Fain. That's
Yeah.
correct. So Padan Fain, who we saw in our first episode as a peddler, who we saw on the fifth episode when our crew makes it to Tar Valon, he's hiding in an alley, spying Logain being paraded across the city. We saw him for like 1 second. He was shown, he leaves,
You're
and that's
right.
pretty much it.
He was there, and but more importantly, when we saw him in Two Rivers, he was a peddler, yes. But when the Trollocs came, he was unfazed. He wasn't scared. He wasn't running. He was watching, really. And when things got crazy, he left. Or maybe not when it got crazy. When he got bored, he left. So he was either inoculated or a part of the dark side or part of something bigger that we don't know. Clearly, we don't
This is
know
what I
yet.
think. This is what I think. I think he could either be an ambassador of the Dark Friend or a premonition that something bad's gonna happen. Wherever he shows up, the Trollocs are gonna follow. That's one thing.
Yeah.
We also know he's able to access the ways and travel between the ways, just like we found out the Trollocs can. Right. So is he maybe having some kind of deal with the rulers of Faldara? Right, because they are supposed to protect this particular gate. Maybe they made a deal to survive the incoming Dark One coming free and becoming all powerful, and they are kind of working on some kind of deal to allow the Trollocs to conquer the lands. Right,
Yeah.
could be
And
a couple
part
of things.
Yeah, and I guess maybe at the very least, as a part of being a peddler, old time businessman, you have to negotiate and talk to all different likes of beings, all different types of people. So maybe he has some type of agreements. Who knows? I don't know, but there's more to it. There's more to his story, which we still have yet to find out.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. Let us know what you guys think the peddler Padan Fain is doing in Faldara. Is he an emissary that's just really gonna just come in with an army and destroy everyone,
Mm-hmm.
or is he making a deal? Because you have to remember he was walking alongside in the streets with some soldiers he was being escorted into the palace. Maybe there's some kind of deal worked out there. That was a little detail.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I
That's a
almost
good
missed that
point.
part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he knows people.
He's well connected.
For sure. But let's get to what everybody has been asking. Who is the dragon? What's going on with the dragon? H, who's the dragon?
Bruce Lee. No,
Yeah.
the dragon is Rand. So we see that Rand, they misled us throughout the show, right? So there was one scene, I want to say episode 3, maybe episode 4,
Yeah.
where he's
3.
trapped and he jumps against this door. And for a second, we kind of see that he is able to pull the door down with power.
And the woman
Everybody's
said
surprised.
that it takes 3 people your size to be able to knock down the door, but it only took one of Rand actually to knock down that door.
I just thought he had a big breakfast that day. But he's able to knock the door down. But we kind of forgot about it because there was so many things, and most of the focus, in my part at least, was on Matt, on what's going on with Matt that particular time.
That's exactly right. There was a lot of focus on Matt, and actually, in that one instance when he knocked down the door, I was like, "Oh, he's the dragon." But but because in the next scene, when he had an opportunity, they got into more trouble. He had an opportunity to use his powers again, and he didn't. I immediately thought he wasn't the dragon. It's like, well, he would have used his powers again, but he doesn't have control of it. He doesn't want to own it, something like that. And I think we kind of see that towards the end of the episode, where he's saying that you are the dragon. You've known this all along, and he's starting to connect the dots. And you see how they connect the first scene, which was amazing, to Rand and his coming, his birth, and also his coming into his own self, which is the dragon.
Now, we see how he was the one who actually used the power to protect Egwene from the Trolloc inside of the waves, causing Machine Shin to attack the crew. And allows to see the doubts that each character had. And finally, he goes to see the seer. He puts everything together, and he just sees Moraine, and they end up going into the blight, this overgrown dark forest full of monsters. I'm
Now, how
assuming.
do you think Egwene felt knowing that Rand left her, knowing that Rand kind of sacrificed himself and left her? How do you think she felt?
She is probably gonna be very conflicted because she is in her heart believes she's the dragon. Now she's gonna know for sure by his actions that maybe Rand's the dragon now, and he also left her after they were kind of getting closer with each other. Now they go back their separate ways, but Rand is doing it in another way. He doesn't want his friends to die. I do believe his friends will follow. They are not gonna leave
You
his
believe
boy.
they'll follow,
Yeah, they're gonna follow. They're gonna get together. Like it
knowing that
doesn't matter.
that they're supposed to die. They're going to
These are
follow.
good people, and they know that Ram may not be ready. And let's be honest, Rand just used the power maybe twice in the show.
Yeah.
He's not the best fighter in the show.
No.
What? It makes no sense
I
that he
mean,
would go without being
and
prepared.
Nynaeve has the most power that we've seen thus far. If she's not the most powerful, if Rand is actually more powerful than her, you still want a friend like Nynaeve to back you up and
Yeah,
with that power, for
she can
sure.
heal everyone. It's gonna be interesting. We might see one of our characters not make it to the next season. Do you guys think we'll see a character not make it to the next season? Let us know in the comments.
Exactly. So what we have, and there's a few things that happened that night in the castle, one and that actually allowed Rand and Moraine to get away. One of them was Moraine gave the go ahead, gave her consent as an Aes Sedai for Lan to go and talk to Nynaeve.
Yeah, we saw that love was in the air. We see Nynaeve and Lan get together. We see Egwene and Rand get together. And we see Perrin crying in his room. No, okay, we didn't see that. we saw that. We saw that.
We saw
Perrin,
that before.
we saw that before. Poor guy. Poor guy. He got friend zone and he's not.
Oh
Cool.
man, so
Yeah, it is
sad,
what
so
it is.
sad.
But we do see that those interactions giving that opening to Rand and Moraine to get away.
Yeah. So Moraine, masked the connection or the bond between her and Lan, which allowed her to get away, and they go into the blight, which the blight it looks even harder than the ways, and the ways was originally intended to be a short, easy pathway for Trollops to go through different cities and stuff like that. But neither one of them is easy, and we'll see what the blight has in store.
You saw how thick that the forest was. It's gonna
Super
take
thick.
them a while. Like there's
Yeah.
no, I mean they have swords, but I think a machete would be a better tool for that job. And what kind of monsters, what kind of perils are they gonna find inside of
I was worried about the snakes, to
blight?
be honest with you. I was
This is
like,
like this is a fantasy. It's like gigantic snakes. It's
yeah.
gonna be Trollocs upon Trollocs. I mean they're getting to the closer to the eye of the world. These next two episodes are gonna be fire. Can't wait for next week. That's all I gotta say about that.
Exactly. Hopefully they continue to bring it next week. Listen, 2 more episodes left, and we have previews for those episodes, and we'll also be doing the reviews. So if you want to hear more about the Wheel of Time, stick here, subscribe, and wait for the next episode. Until the next episode, I'm E. This is H, and we are
Unstructured.
later.